Thank you for coming by Tori Magoo 44. Today is May 18th. Um, Things are rolling along in an excellent way around the world. This is to the parents of Scientology kids or to people that are joining, to parents where their kids are joining the Church of Scientology. I've heard kind of a lot from both recently. I've heard from the kids of parents. And first of all, I'm going to say if you're in the Church of Scientology, I'm not going to say anything confidential in this. I just want to talk to you as a parent because your kids can't, okay? And I remember this. I did the same thing with my mom, the good roads, fair weather, right? Because she didn't like Scientology, right? And that's what the tech is. You know, it's either disconnect or good roads, fair weather. And this is true for anybody listening to it who happens to be, either an ex-Scientologist, a critic, um, anonymous, people that are helping, trying to raise the awareness of people in these organizations. It's like, I know you hear all these bad things about Anonymous, but the people that are outside picketing are mainly outside picketing because they've met people like your kids who can't talk to you openly, or they know of certain things that you don't know about because it's shut out from you. You can't know it. I didn't know it. I was in for 30 years. I did not know it. I stood up in court and said there's no fair game. It's been canceled. Well, here's the honest to God truth. Yes, it was canceled. Hubbard did write a cancellation note, but at the very bottom it says this does not apply to suppressive people. Now you can say, well, they're suppressive, that's it. But you know what? All I'm talking about is your kids. If your kids want you to listen to something or look at it on the net, how can the net hurt you? When I first left, tons of people said, don't talk to her, to Andreas. She's going to hurt you. She's Osa. She's this. She's that. And Andreas, very courageously and cool. I mean, he probably doesn't think it's courageous. I know Andreas. But to me it was. He just said, I'm just talking to her. How can that hurt me? And that's such a great thing. And he wrote that to me. That was one of the big wake-up calls for me when I said, Andreas, I can't stop crying. Because the idea of losing all of Scientology, all of my friends, my husband, it was too much for me. I was like totally overwhelmed. You can't go talk to your friends. You can't. But I want you to know as parents, there's a very good chance a lot of your kids aren't really Scientologists. They don't want to be. And they should have a right to be able to pick, yes, I do, or no, I don't. Without it affecting your relationship. You're their parents, number one. This isn't my opinion. This is a fact. Number one, you gave birth to those kids. And they're going to be in your life for the rest of your life. And you can either welcome them and share it with them. Like in the old days, I understand. You had to leave Scientology, lose everything, be declared as suppressive and all this other stuff to even talk to someone like this. But now, there's the net. They can pop on a video, say, hey, mom and dad, I want you to watch this. What do you think? Talk about it. Maybe you don't agree with it, but at least be open to talk about it. Your creed of a Scientologist says man has the inalienable right to free speech and free thought. And I know I've been there where I was positive I was free, except that one guy kept asking me, if you're free, why can't you read certain books? And I will never forget that. Because people were yelling all this stuff, and I can tell you for the people that yell, it's like it just bounces off. It doesn't go in. But someone who asks you something like that, or even a sign that says something like, man has the inalienable right to free speech and free thought. Why can't you look? Right? I mean, why can't you think about it? Did you honestly, when you were young and you got into Scientology, which most people did get in when they were young, before the internet, did you think you would be in a group where they would decide what you could read? They would decide what you could watch on TV. They would decide who you could talk to. Even those three things. Leave out all the rest. If somebody told you this is the group you're going to join, would you really join it? I know for me, it'd be like, no way. And also think of all the great people in the world who were never Scientologists. This was part of my waking up because, of course, in Scientology, you're insulated feeling like everybody great is in Scientology, or they need to be, right? But the truth is, there are tons and tons of great people throughout history who were never Scientologists. And they did really good and are doing really good in present time, that are huge, successful people. Now, I know in Scientology, the goal is to always get them in. I told my brother, hey, you can do your route in Buddhism or whatever, but you're going to eventually need to do the OT levels. Did he? No. He's doing real good. He's doing just fine. And I love my brother. I really do. I love my family. And I can't tell you enough. Love is a very cool thing for all of us. So spread it around. I keep this here to remind me. It's a beautiful thing. Please welcome your kids into your life. Have open communication with them. Because the good roads, fair weather, that isn't open communication, and you know it. And for the parents whose kids are joining staff, my number one thing is make sure they finish college or training in something, because they're going to work for a very long time. And this is about how many people make money in the Church of Scientology using their technology. It's like slim to none, right? Very, very tiny amount. So the truth is, no, it isn't a career. So they need, and I know they're going to help mankind and all this, but you as a parent, this is my own opinion, your number one goal also, as well as developing a really good communication line with them, whether in or out, is make sure they're trained in something, because we as adults know they're going to work for a very long time, whether they know it or not. I told my parents, because they were constantly throwing me into college, and I was quitting all the time, right? I didn't want to do it. I was like, who needs college, right? And I told my mom later, years later, if you had let me work for a year and pay, have to pay bills and stuff like that, I would have had a master's degree, because I didn't get it. I didn't get how long I was going to work. I really didn't. And I just thought, I can do it anytime. But that isn't really the way it is. And you and I know it. Yes, anybody can go back to college. But the amount of people that go back to college after a certain age, it decreases dramatically. So make sure your kids are trained in something. And once often they're in college, they're going to see all these different viewpoints and realize Scientology isn't the only way, by a long shot. Okay? So my number one thing is, please welcome your children into your life. Share their life with yourself, separate from Scientology. They're your kids. You're the only person who can say, this is my son, this is my daughter. It doesn't have to do with the Church of Scientology. They're your kids. So enjoy them while you have them. And the same for the kids. Vice versa. If you're in and you're disconnected from your parents, they're your parents. They're only going to be alive so long. My dad died when he was 51. He was totally healthy. He had a complete physical saying he was completely healthy. He went home, had a heart attack, he died. So do not just waste your life going along with some rules, whatever organization you're in, and leaving out your loved ones. They're your loved ones. Love them and bring them into your life. Okay? And I love you guys, and I hope you are having a fantastic day. Peace out.